den Hälften, die müssen nach Deutschland zurückgeschickt werden, also wegschmeißen.
Na, wirklich? Und nicht nach Belfast?
Ja, es kommt ein neuer.
I want to go back.
We open a bottle of Lambrus. Yes, we open a bottle of Rioja. Go back. Message from the
Okay, nothing is happening anymore.
No, nothing's happening.
The moment is lost.
Do you want your name? Okay. Lázaro! Lázaro! Miraglo! Lázaro!
Now, if I develop a sudden affinity for sheep, I want somebody to remember this.
Okay. I want to start a religion.
Okay.
你们别动，动我，你要什么吗？然后我要给他们。
Was it okay?
Welcome to Chengdu, Chengdu Modern Henna. 来 ，Go.
Welcome to Chengdu, Chengdu Worldcon Henna.
来看一下哈。
meet them there.
Anyway, yeah. So you've encouraged me to visit Napoli.
So we just exactly so we decided to keep on it.
Oh yeah. I've never been, but I know. Yeah.
But in the countryside, wine hills.
Yeah. Right. So.
Say the project. I will explain the project. So, thank you very much for being here. It's really a pleasure. It's the first time I present a book in English because I come from Italy and I've been working in science fiction since probably 15 years. First as an author, then as a small press editor, and I've gone a long way. I've started to collect science fiction stories from anthologies, from websites, from online magazines, and I started a non-profit project to try to promote people that were invisible on the Italian market and all other markets because they are not being translated. I was going to the bookstores as a reader and as a writer, and I was going to the science fiction shelf, and I was always finding the same kind of author. And no offense, but the same kind of author means white American men, probably in Italy even dead since 30 or 40 years. That was the state of the Italian publishing sector in science fiction in general. So I said, okay, what happened to the rest of the world? And the rest of the world is doing science fiction, it's writing science fiction, but it's just invisible. So I started to collect all these stories, and I found that a lot of people were interested. They are really curious to know what is happening outside the English-speaking countries, and I found a lot of translators that helped me, because of course many countries still have the English as a first language because of the post-colonialism. Parts of Africa, India, many countries in the Caribbean, they speak English or French.
Yeah, I will now give you money, and you will give me this treasure of 5 years.
All right.
So, how much is it? I don't want a discount.
15. This is the price you can check. One.
Yes. Here,
Right.
you will have to give me 5
And I will give you 5 euros.
I will take this with you. Look.
Number one. Okay. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is my bribe for buying.
Grazie mille.
Censorship.
No, it's not. It's delayed reporting.
It's a payment version.
Yes.
I was in Budapest again, so I decided that I would give the audience greetings from the Emperor. Black bucket to sit on to simulate the throne or in Warhammer 40,000. Now, by good coincidence, the Hungarian word for a bucket is veda. And this is very close to Vader. So I started by saying, I bring you greetings from Lord Vader. Nice look. Yeah. Well, yeah, they all understood because they had all heard about the behavior of Lord Vader in insulting Hungarian red wines.
It's maybe same the joke that I'm talking about. But today it was straw with writer. Straw with writers.
Okay.
And I say it's necessary will be changed. Special edition. Straw with straws.
Straw with straws, yeah.
okay. You have been far too long with Ian. Now you are starting to say things like this. Bad idea. You have been infected.
He's infected, it's contagious.
It's a horrible problem. Believe me.
very special in its own way. First off, and a book I'm delighted to be publishing, is The Vows Written When I Told Them My Dreams by Maura McHugh. This is the third in the annual series, edited by Donna Scott. Now, Donna was expecting to be here. She got membership booked and everything, but unfortunately she's had to undergo some medical procedures which have prevented her from being here. So at the end, while you're all drinking wine, please give a thought to Donna and wish her well, because she's gone through a very tough time. So unfortunately Donna isn't with us. Luckily, we do have several of the authors with us, and we've got G.B. Anderson. I haven't edited it myself. And the reason is that David Gunn, who's somebody I know and trust, came to me and said, I've got this idea for an anthology. Every culture in the world somewhere has its traditional myths and its traditional fairy tales. What would the myths and fairy tales of alien cultures and alien races be like?
Indeed, we have a very talented artist in our midst. Where is he?
Yes, Fangul didn't cover art and he was here a minute ago.
He's somewhere here. Okay, well, he's somewhere here. So there.
Things to be like, I want to read things that when I finish, I'm not even sure if I liked it or not. You know, because it just made me, you know, because.
So you're looking for a publisher that really want to use one.
Right. No, but
it's wonderful.
But as a reader, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Right.
How many readers do you think you want to have?
Yeah.
I mean, no,
but I did say at the beginning, most people read for comfort.
Yeah. So that is what they are publishing for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, thank you very much. Look, Dana, but you are so beautiful and amazing. You are amazing. And that is your little brother.
That's the feeling about it. So she, you see, she has her own club, Irish Worldcon, there you go. He spoke to her, and she would talk back. He did this funny voice, but she spoke back to him. And this went on for years and years and years. And then eventually there were three of them. He got another one and another one. And his girlfriend has got one of them. And the other one was going in the coffin with him. And I've got this one. So I've basically got to look after this one. So here we are in Martin's Park.
¿Sabes que lleve esa camiseta? Y hazme una 56. Que ha venido como de...
Yes, yes.
Se crede,
Posso fare finta parlare italiano? Parla! Ma non è vero. No!
Ma fai molto bene a fare finta. Bravo.
È una finta, è una finta. There is with all the trimmings. Now that is, what is that in Italian? It's where you have all the extras. All the
Accessori.
Accessori, yes, accessories. Con todo, tutti gli accessori. And so the salesman, you know, looking at £100,000 value, said to Terry, he went towards the front of the car, and Terry said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm going to show you the engine." And Terry said, "I assume it works." So then he bought the car, big amount of money, and got in and turned it on and drove it. So that is the attitude to adopt to a car. Do not ask what its name is, you know, Silver Cloud or Golden Glory or Ultima.
Shiny diamond.
Yeah. Ultimate shiny diamond. Does it work? Okay. And drive it away.
Così lo mandiamo nella storia.
Grumpiness. Do not grumble. No, I will not grumble.
Hello, my name is Brian Nisbet. I am currently slightly involved in running a Worldcon, but...
Okay, it was a jolly good convention, that one in Dublin 5 years ago. Unfortunately, I caught the preceding convention's illness, and I spent 1.5 days lying prostrated in bed, relying upon Guinness and trying to sweat out the fever. But every time I emerged, I enjoyed more and more the Eurocon of 2014. Now, my name's Ian Watson, and under the guidance of my spouse, Christina, I co-organised the 2016 Eurocon in Barcelona. I made a little list of the Eurocons I've been to, and the total is 14. And I can tell funny stories about, without offending anybody, about Bulgaria to start with, but not now.
Okay, I happened to marry him. That was probably not my best idea. And my second worst idea probably was organizing the 2016 Eurocon in Barcelona. But I have to point out that the chair of that Eurocon is there. Yes, say hello, Pep. Hello. Say hello.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, so I am not alone. Sorry?
I'm guilty for convincing her.
Yes, I have to say I am not alone to be blamed for that one. I have been organizing conventions in Spain for far too many years because that makes me very old, and enjoyed every second of it.
How many of you have never been to Eurocon before?
Never.
Okay, good.
Oh.
I think in 1993 in St. Helier, which is on the island of Jersey, which is not part of the United Kingdom or the British Isles, but is personally owned by the Queen. It was a Eurocon as well as a British Eastercon, and the Romanian Minister of Culture, Alexandru Mironov, heroically drove a bus all the way across Europe, filled with Romanian youth, to experience the adventure of being outside. And also, Roberto arrived there from Italy, disguised with very long hair, to give out plays which he had written and translated into English. The next Eurocon I was conscious of was in 1999 in Dortmund. I was conscious because I was a guest. And I owe eternal gratitude to Diane Duane, who is one of the guests of honor here, I think, because before the banquet, she said to me, let us go and have a drink in the square and eat some schmaltz on toast. Now that is chicken fat, and I had never had that before, but you know, she seemed to have experience. So me and Peter Morwood went to the square, which has now transformed dramatically. In 1999 or in 1998, it was rural. There was grass. The trams ran through a kind of meadow, and there were little buildings. Now there are gigantic skyscrapers. But we ate schmaltz, and thank God, because there was food poisoning at the banquet. And schmaltz, the chicken fat, perfectly coats the inside of your stomach. Other people were vomiting all night very painfully. I woke at midnight.
I'm going to interrupt you there.
I'm
going to interrupt you there. Believe me, it is better that way.
Very well. I do not wish to be controversial.
Let us say he did not suffer.
I did not suffer. And I owe this to Diane Duane, heroine of my stomach. And I went to other conventions.
Yeah, we can say that the Eurocon is traveling around Europe, and it is, but it's the difference with the Worldcon that this also the Worldcon travel around the world, but when you go to Worldcon, you have certain expectations, you know, adventures to go to Eurocon.
Might I mention the Eurocon in Plovdiv, Bulgaria? Now, this was in the year 2004. Now, I had never heard of Plovdiv, and probably without a Eurocon, I would never have gone to Bulgaria. But the Italian job, he had Sheckley in his care, Robert Sheckley, and he was driving him around Europe from one place to another as Sheckley approached the dying days of his life. Quite slowly. And we decided to make it a special challenge. We would start from Budapest in 2 cars with shortwave radios and drive to Bucharest and then down into Bulgaria. I will shorten this all because we entered Bulgaria in the darkness. So we drove across the famous Valley of the Roses and saw nothing and smelled nothing. And we entered Plovdiv in darkness apart from some streetlights. And when we arrived at our hotel, now none of us had been in Bulgaria ever before, including Sheckley. Sheckley was a hero behind the Iron Curtain because he was regarded as critical of the United States capitalist society. And the reporters were crowded around the car. And the first one reached out his microphone and said to Sheckley, "Mr. Sheckley, what do you think of Bulgaria?" And there in the total darkness, Bob Sheckley produced the most wonderful reply, "I like what I see."
So I mean, let's talk about the Eurocon.
Yes, yeah.
Huge restaurant, but they forgot to tell the restaurant. Now, when we arrived there, the restaurant was pretty, plenty of space, one waiting person and one non-Cyrillic menu. We went through they were clever though, they were adaptable. They went around each table and got one person to choose one dish. This pinned you to your table. We went through all the stages of anticipation, worry, psychotic breakdown, starvation, madness, drunken rage. My own particular cooked fish arrived after 2.5 hours. Now, I'll only mention that. I will not mention the psychotic taxi driver at all, because that's too much story.
Also, it is, as Carolina says, it is so different depending where you are. It is so different. Sometimes, where?
No.
As you say, we have been here 5 minutes now.
My apologies then, I was only just sent with the sign. I just haven't-
You only wanted to terrorize us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for the hard job, but go and terrorize somebody else.
Could I mention that the venue lied to us about the capacity because they were a bit snooty as regards science fiction, anarchic, dirty, messy.
Yes, they were very afraid a lot of us will go there in, God forbid, costumes, or disguise as aliens, or Star Trek, doing Star Trek. I say, first thing, and okay, what happens if we do? Second thing, no, it is not the usual thing, but first thing, most important, what happens if we do? Would you enjoy it? Would you like to be the center of Barcelona instead of being a toothpaste of tourists for a few days, be something nicer and different and more... that is a lovely place, but it was a bit on the snob side.
We could
I love it.
We could have had 100 more people if they had not lied to
But
us.
we love being the naughty people in that area.
Yeah, and I mean that's always a problem with conventions, I suppose.
To which it's the national convention of the country to which the Eurocon is attached. So a Worldcon is not necessarily the national convention of the country.
Yes,
it must be the national Eastercon, for example.
Yes, but I have to say that the Finnish were especially naive in that moment, weren't they? I mean, offering guest of honor. Well, okay, have guest of honor in 5 conventions this year, but that food,
I must mention that there's a Eurocon next week. How many of you are going to Titanocon next week?
Yes.
There are still possibility to get membership.
And I'm selling membership. You know.
Sorry?
I'm selling membership.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really going
on. For 4 days is the national convention in effect. And as regards the number of fans,
thank you to my fan club.
There are no people saying this because this is the only 2 Spanish people in this room, otherwise everybody will be cheering.
No, it's much better. The Celsius Festival is much better than the Spanish National Convention.
Yes.
It runs like 10 times more people, much better organized, many days, many offers.
And if they are not saying that because I am going to pay beers for him,
No.
I am.
Sure. The Spanish fandom reacted well to the Barcelona Eurocon. They came to Barcelona, but nowhere else. We're here, we are something like 30 Spanish people.
Yeah,
you know?
that is terrible, thinking that Finland has 10 times less population and 10 times more representatives here. It is very sad.
Higher minimum salary.
And they also
Finland also had the second largest Worldcon of all time.
When you mention salary, it is important to remember that originally the Eurocons were supposed to alternate between East Europe, which didn't have so much money, and West Europe, which had money, because the East Europeans would not be able to afford the grand Hilton hotels that us lot stay in. Alternation has broken down a little bit. Over the long term, 100 years, statistically it might be 50-50, but it's not 50-50
Yes, mainly because it has not been 100 years of Eurocons.
I was projecting into the future.
As you usually do.
But we wouldn't be sitting here in this room, we wouldn't be sitting in the CCD, we wouldn't be sitting next door in the Odeon if it wasn't, I think, for our ability to have Shamrock-Con. Now I don't...
Outsiders went to a coffee bar, you had 2 personal translators to accompany you and to buy coffee for. If 5 of you went somewhere, there were 5 translators. Now, we had a particular watering hole which also served pizzas and things. And it could be on the final evening, this is going to be a Dave Lally warning about Dave Lally's story. On the final evening there was a party there, and Dave Lally had a great crowd of young lady translators around him, and also the boyfriends of the young lady translators. And then, filled with a spirit of a young lady and whiskey, he said, I propose that we pay for all the drinks of the young ladies and their boyfriends. And not everyone in the room was happy about this, but fortunately there was an American scientist who had decided to come to the convention, and he just threw hundreds of dollars, liberally and generously, and thus onto the table. And thus Lally walks till this day, unassassinated.
Well, I'm still here. The assassination didn't work.
As every anecdote that Ian says, my recommendation is to not believe the full extent of it, and if it involves Lally, believe just half of it, and not necessarily.
I am a witness, I can second this story. I was there.
And if Roberto Quaglia seconds it, don't believe it at all.
We have not so much time left. You wanted to do
just one thing, just because it's a follow-on from
that perception of reality.
No, we got this nice tent there.
Nice tent in the
garden.
In the garden as well. Yes.
Still can't believe that. I didn't the Amiens convention had a negative impact on anybody.
Well, I mean, we were.
Well, it is do not do that.
I was deliberately not going to talk about it.
It is unforgettable. Let's say that.
Yeah, unforgettable. Let's not say why. Yes.
It's unforgettable even for me, who I was not there.
Yes. And we saw your name there because you were supposed to be there.
I've not thought about someone else wants to do it, I'll be that.
Okay, just
Il se passe que l'acte de tout.
Moi j'ai fait du tourisme.
Ouais, bonjour, Dominique, enchanté. Ouais, qui s'est baladé ensemble. Mais tu avec nous aussi ou ouais, chouette.
Well, that is a different.
You are smelling good enough for all that, yes.
Oh, yes, yes. Slightly broken.
Okay. Guys, thank you very much for choosing the place.
Oh, yeah, thank you. And thank you for inviting us. There we are. Olga, I think of you always, and I collect the corks that are most interesting for your project, whatever it is. Now this is an Italian wine from Valpolicella, and I am so sorry that the words are upside down, but this is the part of the cork which I should smell in order to detect the qualities of the wine. And if I turn around the cork so that you can read it, then I do not smell what the wine is like. And I hope one day that you will receive this cork along with other corks. In 1960, no, 1959, I went to Vienna for the last time, and it was still damaged by the war.
Before we start wrapping everything up, I wanted to sneak in one last special award. Paris and George have kindly agreed to help me with the presentation, so thank you both. Here to help present the Special Committee Award. I've lied a lot. You're both here to receive it. On behalf of the Dublin 2019 Worldcon Committee, in recognition of the historic and ongoing contribution Paris McBride Martin and George R. Martin have made to fandom and to Worldcons past and present, we present you with the 2019 Special Committee Award.
And James has just pointed out to me that's a hood ornament like the Alfies. So, Paris, would you like that?
Folks, if you're lucky, fandom is a way of life.
I certainly agree with that. I do a lot of interviews these days, and I've been doing some while coming to this convention. And they ask me, why am I coming to Worldcon? You know, it's not as big as the San Diego Comic-Con or Dragon Con or something like that. But it is my family reunion. And I came to my first one in 1971. Just sort of wandered in. I was a new writer. I had 8 stories in my suitcases I figured I could give to the editors there. I rapidly discovered the last thing an editor wants at a party or a panel is a new writer rushing up and thrusting a manuscript at him. But I did meet the editors. And every time I come to Worldcon, I remember all the other Worldcons that I've come to, including all the ones I've come to with Paris over the years. And I remember, I see my friends, and I remember other friends who are no longer with us, writers I've admired, Isaac Asimov, Harlan Ellison, Gardner Kusawa, and Ed Bryant, so many more, Wilson Tucker, fans too, that Rusty Heverman and Lou Tabaco, and the people who made fandom what it is, a place of community, a place of fellowship, a place of good humor, and I think their ghosts are still roaming these halls wherever Worldcon may go, and I expect when the two of us kick off, our ghosts will continue to haunt Worldcon 2 for many years to come, but hopefully that won't be too soon.
George Martin, I think I agree with him and all of this, but I really hope he finishes the book before he kicks off. That would be really great. Actually, I was convinced I was getting that award. That's the only reason I'm here at all. So James does indeed lie. Anyway, thank you. I thought they were going to all just down it in 4 seconds.
Praise to you, the audience.
So without further ado, we have this year's Golden Blasters.
Well, first of all, I would like to say the judges were impressed by the incredibly high standard this year.
Please join us. Raise your hand or stand. That's fine. I'd also like to note some of our key local partners. Their support has often made the difference between success and failure. The Convention Centre, Dublin, staff who were so dynamic and helpful.
Awesome convention this year.
It's very helpful. But the chap with the vocal problems and the ring obsession, not so much.
Thank you. Yes, New Zealand, I've been there a few times. You really have to come. And I think these guys are going to throw a great convention and book some extra time with this amazing country. see the museum, Te Papa, which is amazing. Wellington, the city, also has a great automotive museum, if any of you like cars. And you got to go to Rotorua, where there's pools of boiling mud and geysers and other cool things. And then go out to White Island, which is this amazing volcanic island where there's a lake of sulfuric acid and more pools of boiling mud. And I did make the mistake of saying in print they could imprison me there if I haven't finished Wings of Winter by that time. And also, I have the rare privilege of being the Toastmaster and emceeing the Yugos, which is intimidating enough. I have to do that when I'm screwing up and trying to be funny. That's tough. And now, having watched last night's Yugo Awards, it appears I'm expected to sing and play the flute. Really scary, but I'll go home and start taking flute lessons immediately. Thank you all. Come to New Zealand. We will have a wonderful time.